The really smart, brilliant people at the Hill have written an article about socialism, that dirty word, and they're going to tell us why it's bad. Okay, the article's called Socialism Ruined Post-War Britain and Could Do the Same in the U.S. The Democratic presidential candidates dismissed the powerful economic engine that has led to record low U.S. jobless rates and a remarkable 30% rise in the stock market last year alone. Already, um, we talked about the fact that over 60% of Americans can't afford $1,000 emergency, and I've discussed how horrible it's been over here to get employment. But I guess that I'm just in liberal California. Nowhere else has this issue. And the stock market is only good for people who own stocks, and most people don't. So again, it's just more gibber. In the most recent debate, former South Bend, Indianapolis Mayor Pete Buttigieg, they don't call him that in the article, I'm calling him that, and Senator I'm a clown, but I'm Amy Klobuchar, at least acknowledged the strong economy, but the remaining economic climate deniers on stage continue to beat the drum of economic unfairness and class welfare. Sends Elizabeth Warren, Democrat of Massachusetts, and Bernie Sanders, Independent of Vermont, often cast blame on corporations, demonize high income earners, and stand firm on government programs as the only solution for every American problem. Such rhetoric brings to mind similar socialist proposals in the post World War II United Kingdom campaign that led to Winston Churchill's electoral defeat. Okay, now they're talking about history and all that. Listen, this comment right here about blaming corporations, they blame the people at the top. So a couple of years ago, Wells Fargo fired 5,000 people. Those people were fired by those at the top. So corporate understand that when they say corporation instead of the heads of corporations or the people that are running these places, they're trying to make it seem like you know uh, I don't like the Walton family. So if you're a cashier at Walmart, I hate you, and that's not at all what either one of them is proposing. Uh, Demonizing high income earners. Okay, one of the things people like to do when they try to call Sanders a hypocrite is say, "You're a millionaire. You own 3 homes." Even though if you're a senator, you have to have 2 homes automatically, one in your state and one in Washington. And he only became a millionaire when he sold a book. But when they talk about the wealth tax, for example, this is something that kicks in after several millions of dollars. So if you're making a couple hundred, basically the the most demonic comment either one of them has made is when Sanders said billionaires shouldn't exist, and people really don't understand the enormous difference between a billionaire and a millionaire. They're so far above with what a regular, because I'll freely admit, regular people can still make $1 million in their lifetime if they're savvy with money and they are readily employed. And the circumstances as well are part of it. But the point is, it is much easier and feasible to become a millionaire than a billionaire because of the large gap between the two segments of wealth. Now, as far as government programs being the only solution to problems, I mean, this is why I hate the free market conservative crap, because they do this thing where they try to accuse progressives of just wanting handouts, even if it's assistance for things that you still have to do yourself. So, for example, with free college, oh, you just want a handout. Well, you still have to study to get the grade for this school. And theoretically, if you don't have to burden yourself with trying to figure out how the hell you're going to pay off the loan or the grant or the whatever cost you have for the school, you can spend more time studying and have a higher chance of graduating. And Sanders has proposed a jobs program. So you want a handout of working. I mean, they don't even think when they write this stuff. And, I came on this article expecting to read about why what Sanders and Warren wanted was so bad. Instead, I get one sentence that specifies a couple of, which actually, no, I take that back. It doesn't specify anything. It just gives you a broad overview. They demonize these people. How? Can you point to examples? And now I'm getting some weird uh, three paragraphs about UK politics. I'm just like, okay, but I'm not seeing the point here. Sanders and Warren have no realistic way to fund more than a portion of their plans. And then you get a link to an LA Times article. And I mean, what's so disgusting about these people is that you can actually. So Warren got caught on the Medicare for All thing, right? How do you pay for it? Sanders literally explained how he was going to pay for single payer. On his website, he explains that he wants to pay for the Green New Deal. Um, what was it? A 2% tax, a 2% wealth tax. It was something of that nature. But there's an interview that Sanders did with Morning Joe, where he specified because he was asked by one of the panelists, "How do you pay for it?" And the stuff is on his website. But because they don't see any difference between Sanders and Warren, they lump them together. They might as well be one person. They should just do the fusion dance. So more nonsense written by another hack at a respectable news source.